This is a map of Syria's earthquakes from the year 1990 to 2023. These are all of the earthquakes marked in the archives for Syria. And you can see that there's this center area here with a high concentration, and you can see that in Turkey, here in the Hatay province, that there is just a massive frequency of earthquakes occurring there. And this is from the year of 1990 to 2023. So they occur greatly in the Hatay province. And when they occur here, they are felt strongly here in Afrin and Jandaris and Idlib and northwestern Syria. So I wanted to see for Syria what was where these earthquakes are occurring, if there's anything remarkable in that area that could have contributed to the earthquake having occurred there. So I marked it out. Here's the Euphrates River. And here are earthquakes in red that I marked. There are earthquakes. There's 8 earthquakes marked out there. And near every earthquake, there was some kind of industrial operation involving natural resources. And often the images are very old, and they're either altered and censored images or just not clear. So in the red here, basically you could understand about the earthquakes are here, 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 and here. So I took significant earthquakes from the archive and just started looking at the locations. And I found that they very well line up with the oil and gas territories. So anything in these purple colors are oil and gas, all here. East of Homs and south of Al Raqqa and north of Palmyra, there are fields around Deir ez-Zor, where the intersection of the 3 rivers, and there is some in Al Hazaka and in Al Kamishli in Suadia. And there's no oil and gas fields here along the coastline, but there are oil and gas fields that are unmarked because they are oil and gas contracts given to Russia in the Levantine Basin. So in the ocean, in the White Sea, there is a huge oil and gas exploration being done by the Russians, like massive oil pumping operations offshore in the Levantine Basin here. And then there are refineries along the coastline in Hama, which we went and observed. And all of these black lines are the natural gas pipelines. So there's pipelines throughout here. I did try to see if I could observe the pipelines in near any of those cities, and I was not able to get any visuals at this time from this first search. So this is another map taken from this study. So back in 2016, there was a study done on the oil and gas production and for Syria, and they actually included a map of the territory that the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria held for about a year. And they showed that at that time, oil and gas was being transported in this way. Anywhere you see a black arrow is where oil and gas was leaving, and you can see who had control of those areas at that time. So you see that the Kurdish were sending oil and gas from near Jarabus and Talabad, and they were sending it up to Turkey. So that's who was buying that gas from the Kurdish. And then they were sending out of Suwaida fields out to Iraq. So the Kurdish have buyers in Iraq, or they were exporting at least through there. And that Islamic State apparently was responsible for all of this gray area that year. So in 1 year, it's not possible to organize such a grand operation, but they did find buyers and they sold out of all of these fields, Al Raqqa and Palmyra fields and Deir ez-Zor and Hazaka fields. So apparently they were so organized that they were managing to export out into Iraq and into Assad territories. So it's as if the oil pumping just never even stopped when the territory changed hands. And it was coming right back, still entirely into Assad's territory. And that there is no big oil fields here in the northwest. And there was oil, but there was export going into Turkey through here, export going out. So that was for a year in 2015. That was remarkable. And this is what it normally looks like. This is their pipelines. This is how they were moving all of the oil and gas. So, and this is the main cities here. This is a much more rural areas out here and less inhabited. This is the life of Syria here. And that's the Syrian desert. So, looking into the areas, let's just go ahead and take a look. So, go to one that's older, like here's a 1991. So in 1991, I was especially interested in looking at Assad's oil production capabilities on land, which I would love to see the offshore ones, but it's completely obscured. Those maps are practically useless. I come to the Damascus area to see what we could find. Here is an earthquake in 1991.